turnover ratio. Determine the average collection period and explain your answer and explain what has happened. A company reports a total credit sales of 800,000 cedis for the year. At the beginning of the year, account receivable stood at 50,000. At the end of the year, it increased to 70,000 cedis. Compute the receivable turnover ratio and the average collection period.
Okay, so the answer to this question is okay.
Okay, so we have the turnover ratio to be 40%.
Is what?
40%, and then we have the average collection period to be
your time is up. None of the first one you mentioned was not correct. Bonus to Black Knight. Wow. So they also did not get it. Handkerchief. Okay, so the next set of questions. So your major question, Black Knight. A construction project is scheduled to complete 40% of its work by the 4th month. The actual work completed by the 4th month is 35%. The budgeted cost of work schedule at this stage was 200,000 cedis, whilst the actual cost incurred was 190,000 cedis. Please compute the schedule variance and cost variance and explain your answer. A construction project is scheduled to complete 40% of its work by the 4th month. The actual work completed by the 4th month was 35%. The budgeted cost of the work schedule at this stage was 200,000 cedis, whilst the actual cost incurred was 190,000 cedis. You are to calculate the schedule variance and the cost variance.
So with the schedule variance, it is 5% adverse variance, and then the cost is 10,000 favorable.
No, please.
So the schedule variance, we have 10 million, and then the cost is 950,000.
No, please. Bonus to Heaven.
Okay, so we have the schedule variance to be 5% adverse, and then the cost variance to be 66,500.
Oh, that's what they said, and I said it's wrong. Your major question, Heaven. A software development project was expected to reach 50% completion in 6 months, with a budget of 300,000 cedis. However, due to unforeseen delays, only 45% of the work was completed, and the actual cost incurred was 320,000 cedis. You are to calculate the schedule performance index and the cost performance index. And what does these indexes mean? A software development project was expected to reach 50% completion in 6 months with a budget of 300,000 cedis. However, due to unforeseen delays, only 45% of the work was completed, and the actual cost incurred was 320,000. Calculate the schedule performance index and the cost performance index, and what do these indexes mean?
Okay, so we have the schedule performance index to be 1.5 million, and then we have the other variance to be 10,000.
No, please. Bonus to Black Knight.
Schedule performance index 1.11:1, and then work performance index 0.937.
That is not correct. Also, the last set of questions for the round. I'm starting with Black Knight. Black Knight, a portfolio has an annual return of 12%, a risk-free rate of 3%, and a beta of 1.5. Portfolio B has an annual return of 15%, a risk-free rate of 3%, and beta of 2.0. Which portfolio has a higher tenor ratio, and what does this imply? Portfolio A has an annual return of 12%, a risk-free rate of 3%, and a beta of 1.5. Portfolio B has an annual rate of 15%, risk-free rate of 3%, and a beta of 2.0. Which portfolio has a higher tenor ratio, and what does this imply?
Portfolio A has tenor ratio of 0.06. B2 has 0.06. So they are the same. They have the same tenor ratio.
What does this imply?
It implies that they both will yield same results when it comes to investment. They are both profitable.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. Yes, it's 6%, but the meaning is that they offer equal. No, I'll not. I'll come to the explanation. Heaven, your question. An investor's portfolio has an annual return of 18%, a risk-free rate of 4%, and a beta of 2.5. After market turbulence, the portfolio beta increased to 3.2, whilst the return remains unchanged. Calculate the tenor ratio before and after the beta change, and what does this indicate? An investor's portfolio has an annual return of 18% and a risk-free rate of 4% and a beta of 2.5. After the market turbulence, the portfolio's beta increased to 3.2, whilst the return remains unchanged. Calculate the tenor ratio before and after the beta change, and what does this indicate?
Okay, so the ratio before the turbulence is 0.53, and after is 0.045.
What does this mean?
It means that the two portfolio are not going to yield the same return.
I'll give you 1 out of 3. You had the after, but the before is wrong. It's not 0.5. It's 0.05. Okay, and it means that in your case, it means that the portfolio's risk adjusted performance are the same. And yours, it means that the risk adjusted performance of the portfolio has reduced or has declined. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, we come to the end of round 2. Audience, how was round 2? Contestant, how was round 2? Heaven.
Okay, so we think our performance wasn't actually as we were expecting. I think we got most of the questions that we were supposed to get wrong. So we are hoping to work on ourselves.
Okay, Black Knight.
So actually, we couldn't do well in the round 2, but we have more contests to go.
They have more contests to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of round 2. This is still the Uewabs Business League competition. This is the 9th competition between Black Knight and Heaven. Whoever wins joins Poison Pill and White Belt at the finals. At the end of round 2, ladies and gentlemen, the scores are as follows. Black Knight has 6 points, whilst Heaven had 4 points. So at the end of round 2, Black Knight had 6 points, Heaven had 4 points. We move on to round 3. Round 3 is the problem of the day. They are given one set of questions and they are supposed to give us an answer as a team. Please, you can take your question and let's read it together. Okay. Question 1. Distinguish between the following as used in probability: independent event and dependent event. II. Mutually exclusive event and exhaustive event. III. Marginal probability and joint probability. 2. Mr. Odaform team, an ICAG qualified member, and his wife, an ESIMA qualified member, attended an interview for 2 vacancies for the post of college finance officer at a private university. The probability of the interview panel selecting the man is 1/7 and that of the wife is 1/5. Required: assuming the event selecting a man and selecting a woman are independent, determine the probability that 1. Both of them will be selected, 2. Only one of them will be selected, and 3. None of them will be selected. Question 3. If selected by the panel, the probability that an ICAG qualified member will remain with the private university is 0.6, and the probability that a chartered accountant earns more than 5,000 cedis per month in the university is 0.5. If the probability that Mr. Odaform team will remain with the university or he will earn more than 5,000 cedis per month is 0.7. Calculate the probability that he will earn more than 5,000 cedis per month, given that he is a chartered accountant and will stay with the university. 10 marks, 10 minutes, start work. So you are reminded that the program is proudly brought to you by Radio Windy Bay 98.3. I'll use this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work of the production crew led by Mr. Osman Mumin, Mr. Bismarck Ampo, Mr. Ibrahim Caesar, Mr. Benedict Techi, Mr. Edmond Fuga, Mr. Ronaldo Jansi, Miss Amanda Akofa, Miss Nanama Nyako for their hard work and selfless work they've put in this production. Whether rain or shine, they are always with us, even when the lights are out. The program is brought to you, is technically supported by the Department of the School of Business, which is made up of the Department of Accounting, Department of Management Sciences, Department of Applied Finance and Policy Management, Department of Marketing and Entrepreneurship, and the Department of Procurement and Supply Chain Management. I think Nanama will join us with some comments, whilst I also take my leave.
Okay, I am so sure you can feel the heat wherever you are watching or listening. Now let's quickly go to Facebook and read some comments that are in. Hannibal Hem says, Supernatural Gajo, CBSC, my godfather, salute. Thomas Tihepte says, I like your outfit, sir. Kelly Webb says, the battle of team gurus. Kelly Webbs again says, active with exclamation marks. Paul Quercy says, Haven, more fire. Thomas Tihepte again says, living legend, Dr. Gajo. Then he again says, hello guys. And this is it for the comments. Please keep on watching. Like I said, do not go off your screens. And don't forget to send in your comments, and do recommend it to people for them to watch as well. Share the link.
University of Education Winneba, under the auspices of its Vice Chancellor, Professor Stephen Jobson Mutual, presents UEW Public Lecture Series with the theme Empowering Minds, Shaping Futures for 21st Century Education. Main speaker, renowned Pan-Africanist Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. Other dignitaries include Minister of Education, Honorable Haruna Idriso, the country rep of UNESCO, Edmond Mukaila, and Dr. Samuel Krantempempe. Happening at the Jofus Adamwa Mensa Auditorium at the University of Education Winneba on Friday, 11th April 2025, 10 a.m. We humbly invite all stakeholders, including students, lecturers, researchers, policymakers, to be part of the UEW Public Lecture Series. This promises to be insightful, educative, and thought-provoking. You need to be there. University of Education Winneba, under the auspices of its Vice Chancellor, Professor Stephen Jobson Mutual, presents UEW Public Lecture Series with the theme Empowering Minds, Shaping Futures for 21st Century Education. Main speaker, renowned Pan-Africanist Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. Other dignitaries include Minister of Education, Honorable Haruna Idriso, the country rep of UNESCO, Edmond Mukaila, and Dr. Samuel Krantempempe. Happening at the Jofus Adamwa Mensa Auditorium at the University of Education Winneba on Friday, 11th April 2025, 10 a.m. We humbly invite all stakeholders, including students, lecturers, researchers, policymakers, to be part of the UEW Public Lecture Series. This promises to be insightful, educative, and thought-provoking. You need to be there.
Hello everyone, greetings from the University of Education, Winneba. Our annual public lecture for the year is slated for 11th April 2025. The theme for this year's public lecture is Empowering Minds, Shaping Futures for 21st Century Education. The essence of education in the 21st century is to instill in students creativity, problem-solving skills, good communication skills, teamwork ability, and so on and so forth. For this reason, we have invited Professor P.L.O. Lumumba to speak on the topic. We therefore invite all our stakeholders, including our students, our lecturers, researchers, policymakers, to join us to make this occasion a success. Thank you very much.
Iconic in the shit. Shine your eyes. Come on, let's unite. From the north to the south and central, we are one. Oh, let's decide to pay that price. Yes, we aim providing higher education. No, just one name which belongs to me, that belongs to you. So let's join our hands and say to the world, what be the name? UEW. Hey, what be the name, boy? UEW. What be the name? UEW. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We hear you. You should be proud. Raise your voice, be loud. Oh, it's the best institution where teachers are trained. Oh,